In Linda's neighborhood, there was an elderly woman named Mrs. Tai in a small old house. The children came to her very rarely, and most of the time Mrs. spent alone, sitting on the porch or in the garden on a bench. It was obvious that it was hard for her to keep order. The flower bed was overgrown with weeds, cobwebs were built on the corners of the veranda, and the windows seemed gray with dust. Linda tried to help the old lady as much as she could. She went shopping, mowed the lawn, and did cleaning from time to time. And she planted beautiful flowers in a flower bed and took care of them so that the hostess would be pleased to be in the yard. A couple of times a week, Linda came to visit and drank tea with a neighbor. It turned out to be a very pleasant pastime. Mrs. Tai knew a lot of stories, had a great sense of humor, and was a good storyteller. One day, the woman was gone. Only then did Mrs. Tai's children finally show up to sell the house. Linda came to them to express her sympathy. The old woman's daughter did not let the woman on the threshold. She angrily told Linda that if she was counting on the inheritance, she was wrong. Even if her name was in the will, it would be disputed, so Linda tried in vain. The offended woman returned to her home. She felt sorry for her neighbor and unpleasant that someone took Linda's sincere concern as a desire to profit. A couple of days later, there was a knock on the door. On the porch stood the old woman's daughter, who, with a sly smile, said that Linda was indeed mentioned in the will. She got Mrs. Tai's cat, Winky, and the time-worn tortoise statue. It used to be on the porch, and Linda often admired the picturesque crafts of the turtle's shell. Linda was surprised because she did not expect a reward at all, but Mrs. Tai's act touched her. She gladly took it into the house, an animal that needed care, and a figurine as a memory of a neighbor. Winky was a big fidget, playful and affectionate. She would now start running noisily around the room, then lay down on her mistress' knees and purr. But once the animal played too much and threw the old turtle off the windowsill. It split into pieces. Inside, Linda found a pouch hidden in the shell with several gold bars. There was also a letter from Mrs. Tai in the bag. In it, the woman said that she had transferred most of her savings into gold and wanted it to go to a worthy person. She asked Linda to accept the parting gift without a doubt, because she got more care and warmth from her than from her relatives in her entire life. The good will be rewarded, although not always immediately.